This video is really hard to make, and really not sure how much I'm going to actually post. It remains to be seen, but I wanted to give a real-time update to let you all know that I'm okay, and I'll talk more at the end of this video. Right now I'm actually going to insert the footage that I recorded just as I stepped out of the woods just a couple of hours ago, after not having cell service for a couple of days. And I stepped out of the woods and caught a cell signal and got all these messages from friends saying, "Are you okay? Are you okay?" I mean, like 20 of them, and that was a sign that something had gone wrong. I had not had any knowledge or awareness of a tragic event that happened on the trail today. So I'm going to put in the clip of my reaction, and I'll warn you, I am crying. As you know, if you follow this channel, I'm an emotional person, and the downside of that is I cry easily and I get hurt very easily, and the upside is I'm also a very feeling person with a lot of joy and compassion, and a lot of the good part of being a sensitive person. So the clip you're about to see, I was quite distraught, as I had just learned when I got all these texts saying, "Are you okay?" I got a phone call because I responded and say, "Yes, why?" to one woman, and she called me immediately, told me what happened, and said that she was on her way to the gap where I was to pick me up so that I could get some cell service and communicate with loved ones and let everybody know that I'm okay, and see what part of the trail is closed and so forth. So let me show you the clip right when I came out of the woods, and it's kind of disjointed because I was emotional, and then I'll be back to explain the situation, but I'm okay.
Okay, I might not post this, but I am just absolutely horrified. Do you remember a couple weeks ago I posted about that there was a man on the trail with a knife, and he was threatening people, and but he was caught, he was arrested, but then he was released because charges weren't set. I'm composing myself. A truck just pulled over, and it turned out to be James. He's a guy who runs Sufi Lodge just up ahead. So he just wanted to know that I was okay. He's going to the trailhead to try to meet hikers to make sure everybody knows that the trail is closing and all that stuff. So I'm upset for a few reasons. One, because he's been so close to where I've been since the beginning, since way back by Irwin, and I mentioned that he was on the trail near me, but that's upsetting. But just to think how close it was. But a few things. One, that dear Odie, my dear friend Odie, every hiker's dear friend Odie, tried so hard. I think I'll share his video with his permission. I'll put it right here, but grab a box of tissues before you even watch that video. I'm sorry, I'm an emotional person anyway, but this is so I'm sad for him because Odie tried so hard to be compassionate and help that man, and to get him away from the hikers so he wouldn't hurt anyone, or so that he wouldn't get hurt. I'm upset because the police arrested him, but I don't know the legalities, but put him right back on the trail. I'm upset because the people who were stabbed, somebody was killed and others stabbed and seriously injured, and it's just a few miles from where I am, and that's where many of my friends are, the people I've met. You know how everybody passes me, but I get to know them for a few days and they move on, and I'm thinking about Prairie Dog and El Dorado and Lucky Penny and Snake Eyes, and I'm just hoping everybody's okay. I'm sorry, and you know what else is making me cry? That Blue, if you remember back in the Smokies, there was a woman, her trail name is Blue, and she was with her service dog, Mayhem, through the Smoky Mountains. And they stepped off trail because Mayhem, the dog, wasn't doing well. But she couldn't reach me, and because I haven't had service in a couple days, so I'm very moved. She called me, and just as I stepped out of the woods after this reroute, and told me what happened, and said she's already up here, and she's picking me up at the next gap in just a few minutes. I mean, as much as people are horrible, well, Sovereign's mentally ill. And I feel bad for his mom and dad, a family that he just murdered somebody, and injured many others. But that Blue cares so much, and she's picking me up. And that when I stepped out of the woods and had service, there must have been 30 messages from people asking if I'm okay. And it's really nice to be cared about. I'm really sorry, but it's this is horrible. There's another reason I'm upset. I'm actually angry because when Sovereign was first reported to be out there and people were complaining that he was harassing them and threatening them and all that, there was a group of people who were calling out those who were accusing him as, being over dramatic and just leave the guy alone, and not everybody's social, and he hasn't hurt anybody, and threats don't mean anything. Yeah, well, how do you like that? Threats mean something. The guy is sick, and now he's murdered, okay? So, excuse my language, but fuck you. You people on Facebook chat groups who said that hikers out there afraid of this guy were being dramatic. Fuck you.
If you don't know what I'm talking about, there's been a tragic event on the Appalachian Trail today. Well, very early this morning, I think 3:30, 4 o'clock this morning, in the section that I'm in right now. A man that I mentioned in a previous video seriously harmed some hikers, and we're waiting to find out. I believe one did not survive. Not clear on that. We're waiting for news reports. So let me just backtrack. Right now I'm in Marion, Virginia, and waiting out. They've closed a portion of the trail that I should be at tomorrow, so hopefully when I wake up in the morning we'll find out if the trail is open in that area and then move on from there. So a few weeks ago, there were reports from hikers that there was a man with a knife and a dog, and he was threatening hikers, and he spit on one, and he was stabbing picnic tables, and just yelling and just being not normal. Sorry, I apologize. There was a train going by. So he was picked up by police several weeks ago, but then released because he hadn't actually caused any harm to anyone. It was threats and mostly just words and scary actions and so forth. But then Odie, every hiker, every Appalachian Trail hiker's good friend Odie, acted with compassion to this man and bought him a meal and a bus ticket. And I don't know if he didn't get on the bus to leave the state and go home, or if he got on the bus but came back. But he ended up coming back, and to my understanding, last night he was about 10 miles from me. The shelter, the portion where the trail's closed, is 10 miles from where I am, which is where I'd be tomorrow. So I don't know if that's where these stabbings happened, or if it's further up, but I've had no cell service, so I don't have all the information I need. We're at a hotel right now and just tuning in to find out. I'm really nervous to get the names of the people. It's likely I know them just because they're so close and I meet so many people because I'm so slow. There's another hiker coming out. So it's just a sad day on the trail. My understanding is that this is Sovereign, the guy with the dog, and that he stabbed at least 2 people. That's what I've heard, and I hear conflicting reports that one died and one survived, but I'm not clear on that. So I'm just letting you know that I am personally, physically okay. I am extremely sad for everybody involved, the victims, their families.
And frankly, you can judge me if you want, but for Sovereign's family, he is mentally ill. From what I understand, he has schizophrenia. That's not confirmed, but that seems to be the reality of the situation. Mental illness is a serious thing, and yeah, so we're all just kind of hanging out and waiting for real news. So I don't want to start rumors. I just want to let you know that I am safe, and I'm at a hotel for the night, and I'll most likely be right back on the trail in the morning. Just want to make sure that I'm not hiking into a situation and find the trail's closed and that I don't have a ride out or something. So that's where I'm at. Thanks for tuning in.